Action.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host Joe Chiverelli, filling in for a very sick Rob Zagork. This is the Saw Monday Report. A very special welcome to all our fans out there in internet land watching us here today. I would just like to quickly address my absence at the last show. There was a cancer benefit which I did attend. Of course, everyone here knows about my history with the disease. And I had 110% support from all the guys in the back. So for that, I do thank them. Now let's get into the Saw Monday Report here. We have a lot to talk about. I got a special guest to bring out. So what we're going to do is start with the results from the last show, Saw Reign of Terror. And there were 6 matches contested. And the results are as follows. The Amazing Spider-Man defeated Nefarious. The Maple Leaf defeated Sergeant Commando by disqualification. The real Shawn Michael Blay defeated Azure after Jason Payne interfered. Diego Da Vinci defeated Chuck Whedon for another shot at the Sioux Area Wrestling World Tag Team Championship. Vinny Da Vinci defeated Matt Powers by pinfall. And in the main event, which was a Fans Bring the Weapon match, Johnny Valentino defeated DC Wild, Shawn Michael Blay, and Jason Payne. There was a lot of action that happened at the last show. It was very exciting. And I am sorry I missed it, but I did miss it for obvious reasons, as I stated before. Now we have to get into the real meat and potatoes of the issue here. What's coming up on Saturday, January the 3rd, 2015 at the Polish Hall. Our big event, Saw Retribution. Now there are 3 matches confirmed. I'm going to try and attempt to break them down here. First, we're going to start with a 3-way dance, which will be an elimination match, which will be happening on the card. Now, at the Reign of Terror, Jason Payne was taken out by the Solution. He was removed from the match, removed from having any impact in the final part of the match. The Solution did take him out. DC Wild was screwed over by Josh Bennett, who held his feet down and allowed him to be counted out in the last man standing portion of the match. And then, of course, at the end of the event, we all saw DC Wild lose his mind, snap, and beat the living crap out of Ricky Ray Ross. Now, coming up at this next show at Retribution, Ricky Ray Ross will be addressing DC Wild. I'm sure Ricky has lots to say, as he always does, about what happened at the end of that event. But going back to the 3-way dance, Jason Payne wants revenge. He is fuming mad over what has happened, and he has issued an open challenge to anybody, not just those involved. And so far, Shawn Michael Blay and Johnny Valentino have answered that open challenge. And there will be a 3-way dance, no holds barred, elimination rules. These guys are absolutely going to tear each other apart once again at Retribution. And of course, as an added side story there, we all know the history between Johnny Valentino and Shawn Michael Blay. Ex-tag team partners. We know Johnny stabbed Shawn in the back to further his singles career. They had a series of matches back stretching from 2008 to 2009. Some of the most brutal street fights I have ever witnessed in this company were between Johnny Valentino and Shawn Michael Blay. So you're going to take those 2 guys who absolutely hate each other, throw in the psychotic Jason Payne, and you have a big mishmash of destruction for a 3-way dance. I myself can't wait to call that, but I'm probably going to have to take precautions to ensure my own safety at ringside. Moving on, where are we at here now? We got a tag team title situation in Sioux Area Wrestling that has been completely blown out of proportion in 15 different directions. First of all, we'll go back to Saw Revelations, our event in August, of this last year. Deuce Diamond, one half of the World Tag Team Champions, produced a picture of himself and Vinny Da Vinci, which would indicate they were tag team partners in Michigan at one point. Now, at that point, Vinny was then forced to tag with Deuce Diamond. This put Diego in a very precarious position, as Chuck Whedon once again did not show up. Diego actually had to bring me in the ring, which was a bad idea all around. I don't know why I ever did that. In the end, though, the tag title scene remains the same. Deuce Diamond and Chuck Whedon are the tag team champions of the world. Diego did beat Chuck for another shot at the title. The question we're looking at here is, where does Vinny fit into this picture? It's clear that Vinny DaVinci wants to be one half of the tag team champions, but does he want to be partners with Diego anymore? That's the big question that needs to be answered here. And where does Matt Powers, Diego DaVinci's new protege, fit into all this? This is just a mess of questions. It's going to be a very intense match, no matter who is participating of it. But there is a tag team title match at Retribution, and the tag titles will be defended. Can Vinny and Diego coexist if they do tag together for the tag team titles? Where does Matt Powers fit into all this? Can they all work together? Can Diego and Vinny make up? Matt be in their corner? That's a question that we're looking at. Will Chuck show up? He has a history of just not showing up. He's a high roller. He's in a poker tournament. He does this, that, and the other thing. Is Chuck even going to show up? And if Chuck doesn't show up, does Deuce have any more surprises for Vinny and Diego DaVinci? Those questions will be answered, hopefully, at Retribution. Well, we got a little bit more here to talk about, and we're going to do it when we come right back after this. Welcome back to the Saw Monday Report, everybody. I'm Joe Chiverelli, filling in for a very sick Rob Zagork, and we wish him well. He should be back next week. All right, we got a couple more things to talk about before I bring in my special guest. First things first, the All-American champion, Mitch Johnson, who has been in Saw before, will be at Retribution. This is confirmed, as will his manager, Miss Alice. It is not confirmed that he will be in the Battle Royal yet. We'll have to see about that, but he is coming. And when you talk about Mitch Johnson, this guy has won gold all over Michigan. And some of the names he has worked, some of the biggest in the industry. Tommy Dreamer, NWA World Champion Rob Conway, the Necro Butcher, Jerry Lynn. He is D1W's heavyweight champion, and he is a former NWA Affliction champion. So Mitch Johnson will be at Retribution, and we do look forward to his presence there, and it will be interesting to see what he does. Now, I did just touch on the Battle Royal, and I would like to talk just briefly about that. The Battle Royal ladder match will crown the first ever Sioux Area Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. Now, last year we did have the Battle Royal ladder match for the ownership of the company, which Ricky Ray Ross won, but we won't get into that at this moment. The Heavyweight Championship will be hanging from the roof of the Polish Hall. Competitors will enter the ring every 2 minutes. It does start with 4 guys in the ring. And in this type of staggered entry battle royal, entering first as opposed to last holds no advantage. At any time, the title may be grabbed. All guys don't have to be in the ring for that title to be won. But the longer the battle royal wears on and the longer that the wrestlers will be in that ring, obviously you get beat up, you get more tired. So it is a very unpredictable event. Throw in the combination of a ladder match, which in itself is dangerous. I have competed in a ladder match, very memorable in 2003 against Vinny DaVinci. And then you add the battle royal and elimination element, plus the staggered entry. You don't know who's coming through that curtain. Anyone that's ever competed for Saw is eligible to be in the battle royal. And it is a complete cluster mess of action. If last year's was any indication, this year's is going to be 10 times better. And I myself cannot wait to be at ringside and call the action on January 3rd. It is going to be absolutely amazing. The Heavyweight Championship, I mean, it does not get bigger than that in any wrestling promotion. And we do have some confirmed names that will be competing in that Battle Royal ladder match from the Saw roster. They are DC Wild, Sergeant Commando, The Maple Leaf, The Solution, Josh Bennett, and my very special guest who will be joining me right now, Mr. Matt Powers. Matt,
hey buddy.
Welcome. Thank you for being here tonight. How are you?
I'm actually doing great.
Good. That's good to hear. All right, I just got a couple questions here for you, a few questions, and we'll get right down to it. First of all, before we start, I need your thoughts on the situation between the DaVinci cousins, Vinny and Diego.
Well, basically, I'm just as confused as you are.
Okay.
Probably anybody that's watching this right now is just as confused. We don't know what side Vinny's on. Diego, I look up to him. We've been training. quite a bit, and Vinny is just all over right now. Whether he appreciates his fans, I don't know. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But he's an obstacle, so I'm going to make my way through him, and I just want to become the best. Whether he's good, whatever.
Whether he's in the way or not, it would seem. I'm going to be very blunt here. Sorry to do that, but that's me. Are you Diego Da Vinci's new tag team partner? Is Vinny out? Are you in? We want to know. The people need to know.
I know that's something that's on everybody's mind. Something that's on my mind too, because I've actually talked to Diego about that at the Forge when we're training. And something that we're still taking in consideration. We don't fully know yet, so hopefully we'll get some more information on that soon.
All right, well, we're all looking forward to that. I need to ask you, you came into SAW at the beginning of last year. What is important to you? What are your goals in Sioux Area Wrestling?
Well, I think all the goals are probably the same as everybody in the back. I want to become the Sioux Area Wrestling champion and just become the best. I want to be known as, Matt Powers, the face of Sioux Area Wrestling. Well,
that is, that's something to work towards. Pardon me. Speaking of that battle royal, you were in that battle royal ladder match last year. As I said, you were a rookie at that time. What is it like being in a battle royal that has ladders involved with it? Like, that is a dangerous match type in itself, but what's it like with the ladders involved and being in the ring there?
Yeah, well, I was only in there for a few minutes, but even the time that I was in there was very intimidating.
Right.
You could see those ladders just standing on the outside of that ring, and you know that they're going to come in the ring. So just being scared at the beginning of the match, I could just assume how scary it's going to be later on. It's just going to be off the chain, and I just can't wait.
Right on, yeah. And of course, now, you're a little bit of a grizzled veteran. You were a rookie in there, as I said. You got tossed out relatively early, but, I do believe that you're going to put in a pretty good performance this year.
Yeah.
Right on. Last question for you, before I let you go here, before we get going. What would it mean to you if you were the champion of Sioux Area Wrestling? What would that mean to Matt Powers?
Oh, that would be the greatest thing. That would be that'd be the accomplishment of my goals, basically. That's something that I look forward to, and I believe that it can happen. Because I'm gonna, I might keep falling, and I might keep losing, but I'm not a failure because I'm gonna keep trying, and I will become champion one day.
All right, well, very determined young man, Mr. Matt Powers. So that was a very great interview. Thank you for being here, sir. And we're going to wrap things up here tonight. Oh, Jesus Christ!
Oh, you should take this into consideration, Matt Powers. You should take this into consideration. You call that my replacement?
I don't get paid enough for this crap to have people run in on interviews and start throwing drop kicks and beating people up. I hope Zagork's okay for next week because this is just completely ridiculous. For the SAW Monday Report, I'm Joe Chiverelli. Have a great night, everybody.
Sioux Area Wrestling fans, this is Mr. Rock and Roll, DC Wild, checking in from the road on my highly pricey but comfy tour bus. Just finishing up a set of dates down in the Bayou. Knowledge, it's a hell of a party town. Who don't love to party and rock and roll more than this guy? Well, the party is coming back. January 3rd, 2015, live in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, once again at the Polish Hall, and I hear this is gonna be the big one. Sioux Area Wrestling, Retribution. Main event, the second ever Battle Royal ladder match. And on the line is the Heavyweight Championship. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be awesome. So, I can't wait for January 3rd. So let's get ready to rock and roll, and I'll see you guys in January.